Good afternoon. It's an honor to welcome you to the BDC's annual meeting. I'm Tyson Carmichael, Chair of the BDC Board, and I'm thrilled to be here with so many leaders, partners, and innovators shaping the future of Bloomington, Ellettsville, and Monroe County. Today, we reflect on the accomplishments of 2024 and explore what's next. We're also excited to feature a panel of employers and leaders who are shaping Monroe County's future. Their significant investments mean new opportunities, high-quality jobs, and a stronger economic foundation for our community. But before we begin, let's take a moment. You'll notice on your table there's a champagne flute for a special toast. At the BDC, we want to celebrate a milestone. 2025 marks the BDC's 40th year as a driver of Monroe County's economic vitality. Since 1985, the BDC has championed job creation, business expansion, and community development, so we can be a competitive and forward-thinking hub for our region. Economic development is a team sport. None of this would be possible without our over 115 BDC members and partners from across the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. They're all listed in your program. I'd also like to add, just take 1 second. I know people don't like standing up, raise your hand or something. If over those 40 years you have served on a committee, the executive board, been part of staff with the BDC, or helped us pull off a project, how many people in this room can say that? A lot of hands going up. That's great. So with that, if you'll grab your champagne, let's raise our glasses to 40 years of impact, collaboration, and continued work to a brighter future. As a rookie mistake, I didn't bring mine up here, so go for it, guys. Cheers. I got one. So don't get too used to it, because I don't think we're allowed to start every meeting that way. So while still in celebration mode, we'd like to welcome you to today's meeting and acknowledge some of our special guests. Representing our elected officials, we have Diane Powell, representing Senator Todd Young. Hamza Salih for the office of U.S. Senator Jim Banks. Michael Grimm for the office of U.S. Congresswoman Erin Houchin. Not sure, we have had some sickness going around. Is Commissioner Madeira here? Nope, I think she was dealing with some illness. Monroe County Council members, Liz Vital. City of Bloomington Deputy Mayor Gretchen Knapp. And Bloomington City Council members Isak Asari, Andy Ruff, and Sydney Zulu. Isak, you got to trade this off for yourself. Additional guests, Eric Griner of Envoy, Corey Barton of Jack Lorry Group, and Jose Herrera of Phoenix Roofing. There we go. Welcome to you and all our members and partners today. Next, we'd like to thank our generous sponsors. This year, the BDC has an ambitious schedule for projects and initiatives. Thank you to our 2025 sponsors who have stepped up to help us reach these goals and benefit our community. In our partner circle, we have the City of Bloomington, German American Bank, the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce, Indiana University, the Town of Ellettsville, and Weddle Brothers Construction. In our executive circle, CFC Properties, Cook Medical, First Financial Bank, IU Credit Union, Ivy Tech Community College, Old National Bank, People's State Bank, and Smithville Communications. And in our leadership circle, the Bloomington Board of Realtors, IU Health, in the middle. We'd also like to thank our table sponsors for today, the Bloomington Regional Rehabilitation Hospital, Community Foundation of Bloomington, Monroe County, ROI, City of Bloomington, Comcast, JS Health, IMI, Hoosier Energy, and Centra Biofarm Solutions. sponsorship is more than just support, it's an investment in our community's future. As we continue our work, we invite you to be a part of this momentum. By partnering with the BDC in 2025 as a member and sponsor, you can play a pivotal role in shaping Monroe County's economic landscape. To help us continue for the next 40 years. To explore membership and sponsorship opportunities, please connect with Stacy. For those of you who are new to the BDC, our vision is to serve as the economic catalyst for a prosperous, resilient community. Economic development is about vitality, collectively building a thriving, resilient community where businesses and individuals can prosper. It creates the conditions for long-term success. The BDC's mission is to drive innovative economic development practices that strengthen our community's competitive edge. As a nonprofit serving all of Monroe County, the BDC is dedicated to the retention, development, and attraction of quality jobs. We focus on trade sectors which sell goods and services outside our region to bring revenue into our community. The work in progress are ongoing. We are starting year 2 of a 3-year strategic plan, and we are making great strides towards hitting our goals, but the work is not done. As we take today to celebrate, we have an unrelenting focus on the future and what could be. This is where all of you come in. We ask you to join us and bring your ideas, your opportunities, your skills to the table. In return, the BDC will work relentlessly to make the right connections, provide valuable knowledge, and help clear roadblocks to ensure we progress. With that said, we aren't waiting on anyone. Work is underway behind the scenes to collaborate with local partners, economic development leaders, market experts, and national site selectors to build a targeted list of companies that fit our community. From here, we will build attraction strategies that ultimately can lead to investment and growth for our community. Efforts like these take a village. You are that village, and together, the hard work will lead to a better landscape for all. You'll hear more from our staff on this, so for now, a bit more on our structure. The BDC's governance is overseen by a core of BDC officers. Myself as the chair, first vice chair, Valerie Pena of IU, second vice chair, Paul Quick with Smithville, our treasurer, John Gurnham with Forbes, secretary, Ron Walker, CFC Properties, and our immediate past chair is Sarah Rogers of IU Credit Union. The BDC's work is also guided by an executive committee that includes the City of Bloomington Mayor, Carrie Thompson, Councilmember Isak Asari, ESD Director Jane Coopersmith, and from the Monroe County Council, Jody Madeira and Councilmember Trent Deckard, and Town of Ellettsville Manager Michael Farmer and Councilmember William Ellis. Thank you to our members, sponsors, and partners who provide funding, collaboration, and expertise to make the BDC's work possible. So what is our progress to date? For that, we'll dive into the BDC team's annual report, so please join me in welcoming BDC President Jim Pearl to share the latest.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe it's still morning. Well, welcome to the BEDC's annual meeting, and thank you to all of our members, sponsors, and partners. Before we dive in, we did want to give a shout out to several of our members who were named earlier this week as best places to work in Indiana. This is so hot off the presses, we didn't even have a slide for it. So congratulations to Blue & Company, Electric Plus, HFI, IU Credit Union, Warren Wood Builders, Schmidt Associates Sponsel, and Weddle Brothers Construction Companies. Did I miss anyone? This is just one example of how our members are building great communities. Please give them a round of applause. And now, as we delve into today's conversation, I'm excited to share that our 2024 annual report is hot off the presses. You can explore the full document by scanning the QR code on the screen or on your table stanchions. We wanted to start by taking a look at our local economy, which provides context for the work that we're doing across our community. Monroe County, I think, as you all know, is at a very pivotal moment. We have opportunities and we have headwinds. Private sector investments have grown in recent years. Over $751 million has been invested in Monroe County through 10 BEDC-supported projects since 2020. Thank you to these companies who have expanded and grown locally. Simtro Biopharma Solutions, Phoenix, Bloomington Rehabilitation Hospital, Regional Rehabilitation Hospital, Tosses, Novo Nordisk Catalan, Oliver Winery, Pravelli, and Cahey. You'll hear a bit more about some of these later in the program, and details on their projects are listed in our annual report. Please give them a round of applause. Other good news, wages have grown significantly over the past 5 years in the Bloomington Metro. Average private sector hourly wages rose from $21.64 per hour in January 2020, that's $21.64 per hour, to almost $30 per hour this last December. Our community still lags the state average of $31.50 per hour, but we've significantly closed the gap in recent years with this almost $8 per hour increase. Meanwhile, our region is coalescing around the I-69 corridor, bolstered by federal investments like the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, new tech hubs, and statewide investments like READY. This supports key industries like life sciences while reinforcing our region's strength in advanced manufacturing, defense, and technology. We celebrate these successes, but we also recognize the headwinds of inflation, housing needs, and workforce challenges. Monroe County and Indiana have experienced slowed population growth amidst an aging national workforce and declining birth rates. It begs the question, in the future, who will keep our community running and economically vibrant? This is not doom and gloom, but rather a warning flag, and something that we all need to be talking about. Our community has the tools that we need to build a stronger future, if we choose to use them. We asked our partners and neighbors across Bloomington, Ellettsville, and Monroe County, what do you need? How do we work together to build economic vitality for our future? Your response came loud and clear through the Economic Vitality Project, through our BEDC audit, and so many of our other meetings that we've had with you. It manifested in the BEDC's strategic plan, which launched in 2024. The answer was this: to attract and retain top talent and build economic vitality, we must lean into quality jobs, attainable housing, and a strong quality of life as our top priorities. Despite our challenges, we have so many bright spots to build on. We have regional opportunities, we have record enrollment at IU Bloomington, we have steady growth in Ellettsville, we have Bloomington investments in housing, and promising developments in key industries like Novo Nordisk's recent acquisition of Catalent. People are at the center of a vibrant, economically sustainable community. As Tice mentioned, we need you to make these things happen. Economic development is a team sport. So our question is, are you with us? And we hope that you are. So let's take a look at our strategic progress so far and how we can continue our work together. The BEDC's strategic plan focuses on goals within 5 key pillars, which we've set out to achieve between 2024 and 2026. They're listed, as you can see on the screen. They include business retention and expansion, business attraction, sites and advocacy, the Economic Vitality Project, and BEDC growth and partnerships. This roadmap guides our efforts to strengthen Monroe County's economic vitality while addressing workforce needs, business development, and community infrastructure. For a closer look at the highlights and the successes from the most recent year, please welcome to the stage BEDC Business Development Director, Clark Greiner.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'll be reporting on the first 3 pillars of our strategic plan. First, business retention and expansion. We help existing employers thrive by helping them find sites, connections, and resources to grow. One of the most significant projects the BEDC worked on in 2024 is the Simtro Biopharma Solutions $250 million investment, alongside the commitment to create over 130 high-skilled jobs in Monroe County. This expansion further solidifies Monroe County's position in the life sciences industry. The BEDC helped the company navigate local government approvals, apply for incentives and READY funds, and prepared for their groundbreaking with Governor Holcomb and local officials last June. You'll hear more about the Center for Growth during today's panel. It's very exciting. Under the business retention and expansion side of things, the BEDC's 3-year goal is to support over $275 million in capital expenditures and 300 new jobs. After 1 year of our 3-year strategy, I'm pleased to share that we've achieved almost half of the employment goals and over 80% of the investment target. The second pillar is our strategy is business attraction, and our goal there is to diversify our economy by fostering new industries and landing at least 2 new employers in Monroe County. I think everyone knows that business attraction is a longer process. It takes at least 1 to 2 years lead time in order to get those organizations in our community. We have a promising project right now that's in the pipeline, and I hope to be able to share more information with each of you in the coming months ahead. In late 2024, the BEDC also began developing a microelectronics business attraction strategy with partners from around our region, leveraging Monroe County's strength in AI, machine learning, and quantum computing. We're also engaging with 11 local economic development organizations and partners like IU, ways to kind of explore the I-69 corridor for regional business attraction efforts. So feel free to contact Jen or myself if you're interested in getting more involved in this. Our third pillar is sites. Strong employers require space to grow with supportive policies and infrastructure. 2024 brought a few milestones to this front. First is the grand opening of the Forge, a 21,000 square foot innovation hub in the Bloomington Trades District. It provides space for tech startups, research collaboration, entrepreneurs, and in 2021, the BEDC, the City of Bloomington, landed $3.5 million in initial funding for the Forge from the US EDA, backed by over $9 million in matching City and Redevelopment Commission funds. And in 2024, $16 million grant was awarded by the Lilly Endowment to the IU Foundation to accelerate the surrounding Trades District transformation. The mill has led the Forge development and oversees its management. And I wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Pat East, who led the mill during this time and is moving on to the endeavor. Thank you, Pat, for all this. And then also wanted to acknowledge John Fernandez has been front and center on the Forge initiative as well. So lots of good things going on there. Thank you very much. And in 2024, the BEDC actively engaged in Monroe County's Development Ordinance, or CDO as we know it, to advocate for employment-ready sites, streamlining zoning regulations and infrastructure improvements. We issued a white paper with recommendations from over 80 members and partners, and it was written in collaboration with BASCI, the Bloomington Board of Realtors, Habitat for Humanities of Monroe County, and the Bloomington and Ellisville Chamber. So thank you for your participation in that. Also related to sites, in early 2025, the BEDC, we compiled a list, an inventory of available sites, totaling up to 1 million square feet of building space under roof and 1,000 plus acres of greenfield space that's available across Monroe County for economic development. Moving forward, we're going to continue to focus on sewer and infrastructure challenges. We're going to continue advocating for necessary upgrades to support thriving businesses. And for the final 2 pillars of our strategic plan, I'm pleased to introduce Stacy Murata. She is the BEDC Communications and Membership Director. She'll share insights about EVP and how the BEDC strengthens connections across the community. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to our annual meeting. I just wanted to point out that this is the BEDC work phone, and I was very happy to have Tice auction it off. I can still do that if anyone's interested in getting a BEDC work phone. Oh, sorry, Jen. Welcome to our annual meeting. I'm so glad to see everybody here today. If I did not get to say hi to you earlier, please know that my love and gratefulness is with all of you today. So, let's put on the readers. Some of you may know that the Economic Vitality Project, which we lovingly call EVP, is an initiative that helps us track economic indicators and guide community investment. Through the EVP, we are monitoring metrics such as workforce participation, wage growth, and business retention to provide real-time insights for local decision makers. Building on the earlier work of the EVP, the BEDC is working to secure an Economic Development District designation in partnership with Owen County, Brown County, and ROI. This designation can unlock federal funding for infrastructure and workforce initiatives, positioning our region for sustained economic success, and stay tuned for updates on these efforts in 2025. By leveraging data and strategic planning, we can ensure that Monroe County remains competitive and future-ready. The fifth pillar and final of the BEDC is our BEDC Partnerships and Growth, where collaboration fuels progress and expands our impact. The BEDC is powered by its members. By deepening partnerships and expanding outreach, the BEDC ensures that economic development efforts align with what our community needs and what those priorities are. In 2024, we embraced member and partner relationships by small talk sessions and our new HR Executive Roundtable to facilitate industry conversations and workforce collaboration. A redesigned BEDC website providing up-to-date economic data and resources. Our website was recently ranked #4 in the nation through economic development sites, and we're very proud of that accomplishment. Public policy forums, the BEDC hosted a sold-out crowd during Indiana's gubernatorial candidates at the State of the Bloomington Regional Economy meeting. Additionally, forums for local candidates and panels on policies like stormwater regulations were recently done and provided positive feedback from our members and partners alike. Economic growth is a collaboration effort. We invite you to be a part of Monroe's County future, and you can support the BEDC's mission by engaging in workforce and business advocacy efforts, leveraging BEDC's data, resources, and networks to support your organization's growth. Becoming a 2025 sponsor to invest in economic development initiatives. Contact me to learn more about sponsorship opportunities and stay tuned for exciting new ways to engage in 2025. We'll be rolling out fresh initiatives and member benefits throughout the year, so keep an eye out for updates. Let's make the most of 2025 together. Whether it's partnering on innovative projects, tapping into insightful resources, or elevating your impact through sponsorship, we're here to help you shine. And thank you so much for your continued support and commitment to economic vitality. If you have any questions or want to get involved, please schedule time to meet with any one of the BEDC members. We would love to meet with every company and organization that's here today. We look forward to building a stronger, resilient Monroe County together. And now we turn to our featured presentation, Economic Wins and What's Next, Lessons from the Past and a Vision for the Future. To introduce our panel of speakers, please welcome BEDC President Jennifer Pearl.
Hello once again. So that's been an update on what the BEDC's been up to, and thank you again so much for everybody who's contributed to this over the past year. We truly wouldn't be able to do this work without you, and we really look forward to what's next. Today, we now turn to our featured presentation. We're delighted to host some leaders from our community who represent some very significant employers. Collectively, the employers who are listed in your program have invested over $365 million in Monroe County since 2020 through multiple expansion projects. The Bloomington regional community is already seeing the fruits of these projects, but many people may not be familiar with their full impact, which is really why we wanted to host them here today. A number of these projects have overperformed on their earlier projections. So we're excited to highlight how each company has grown while discussing where they've come from and where we're headed together as a community. So let's move on to our panel. Representing our moderator, or she's doing our moderation for today, is Amy Ketchum. She is president of Suchia Group North America. Amy has been with TASIS for 8 years, starting as director of finance and IT before becoming president in 2021. With 26 years in financial and manufacturing leadership roles, she is also a certified public accountant. She values the TASIS team's shared vision of continuous improvement and collaboration, feeling honored to work with a group that believes in being better together. TASIS has been in the Monroe County community for 35 years and is a part of the Suchia Group with 32 locations around the globe. They source, distribute, and manufacture products for the automotive and transportation industries. On our panel, our first panelist is no stranger to BEDC membership, Jeff Krantz, Engineering Manager of Phoenix. With 35 years of experience in manufacturing, Jeff Krantz has spent the past 28 years driving engineering excellence with his current company. Throughout his career, he played a pivotal role in starting multiple sites for Phoenix across the country, which ultimately brought him to Bloomington. His most notable accomplishment was starting up the Bloomington site during the challenges of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. Jeff holds an AAS in electromechanical technology from the College of DuPage. Originally from Erie, Pennsylvania, he moved to Bloomington in 2014, where he resides with his wife, Jennifer Harold, a talented painter and IU graduate. Our next panelist comes to us from Simtra Biopharma Solutions, Mike Boyd. He is a seasoned leader in pharmaceutical manufacturing with nearly 30 years of industry experience. He's currently serving as the Director of Supply Chain at Simtra Biopharma Solutions in Bloomington, a premier CDMO specializing in sterile injectables. And we'll be learning what a CDMO means, I know, during the conversation. His comprehensive expertise covers all areas of pharmaceutical operations, ranging from procurement and logistics to scheduling. His strategic leadership and supply chain management ensures seamless, efficient, and compliant execution from start to finish. Holding an MBA from Indiana Wesleyan University, Mike is committed to advancing best practices in pharmaceutical supply chain excellence. And last but certainly not least, rounding out our panel is Jeff Stoltz. He's the CEO of Bloomington Regional Rehabilitation Hospital. Jeff has led medical rehabilitation hospital operations for more than 25 years. He's passionate in sharing experience and knowledge to provide world-class care in Bloomington and the surrounding communities. Before his present role, Jeff served in various leadership capacities with hospitals in Indiana and throughout the country. Jeff and his wife Jackie are native Hoosiers and have resided in Bloomington for over 20 years. They consider themselves townies and enjoy all that the community has to offer. The BEDC has been really pleased to work with all of these companies over the last few years, and we're really excited to hear more about your work. Please welcome our panel to the stage.
Well, I also have to use readers, just like Stacy here. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you three for joining us today to share a little bit more about the exciting things that are going on in each of your organizations. To start us off, can each of you just spend a few minutes telling us a little bit about your company's history and what work you do?
Hi, my name is Jeff Krantz. I'm an engineering manager for Phoenix, the Bloomington site. We are a 135-year-old company founded in 1890. Started out in cork and glass and migrated to plastics in 1964. This is the 7th generation of ownership in our company, so it's been around for a while. This is our 4th and most automated site, and we're happy to be here, and we're a primary manufacturer of caps and closures.
So I got the opportunity to tour your facility last year, and I was so impressed by the automation on the plant floor. It's really, really something to see. You mentioned that you produce caps. Can you give us an example where we can see a cap?
You would see a cap on Caliente Gelato, Stoke iced coffee, craft products. We are also highly engaged with the Kraft Heinz company as well as Unilever, and we're now dipping our toe in the water of nutraceuticals, dispensing caps, and pharmaceuticals as well.
Awesome. So Mike Boyd, Director of Supply Chain in Semtra Pharmaceuticals. A little bit about Semtra. It started off, and some of you probably already know this, but we started off in the late 80s, early 90s as a cook company, which I know there's some cook folks around. So we started off making a product called Oxalin, which was a contrast media. It was made for Mr. Cook for a friend who asked him to make that. It became approved in 96 with the FDA. After that, in 2001, well, during that time frame, while it was being marketed, we got into the contract manufacturing business. At that time, both businesses took off. We then went into getting purchased by Baxter. Baxter continued the contract manufacturing business and then sold us, and after 22 years, this past 2023. And in October, we became a company called Semtra, which was purchased by two private equity firms, Warburg Pincus and Advent. And with them, being with a private equity firm, we're able to, and you see the big expenses, able to spend $250 million building a new facility and growing our business. And with that, as you heard, CDMO, contract development manufacturing operations. So we were a CMO, and added the D in there for development services in order to round out our portfolio.
So Bloomington Regional Rehabilitation Hospital opened in November of 2021. We provide care to those that are experiencing some type of an illness or an accident, such as a stroke, hip fracture. Maybe they've had surgery and just need a little bit more time to recover, or anyone who might have been involved in some type of an accident. We started out our first year just offering inpatient services because we really wanted to make sure that we could hone our operations, if you will, for inpatients and make sure that we're doing that well. And then about partway through our second year, we decided to also add outpatient service line. So for patients that may not need to come and stay at the hospital overnight, they can be in their own home, but still need rehab services, we're able to now treat those patients as well. Our hospital is part of Ernest Health, which is our parent company, and they have 36 hospitals across the United States, a big concentration in the Southwest up to California, some in the, obviously in the Midwest now, and also some down in North and South Carolina areas as well. And then Ernest is a wholly owned subsidiary of one of the equity partners, and that's one equity partner. And so they brought a lot of the financing and just finance to the community so that we could invest the money that we needed to start up a new hospital. One of the things that I'm proud of with us is we have been recognized top 4% nationally on our patient outcomes. And we really focus on getting people back home, getting them back to life with that. And so in just a short time, only being open 3 years, the team has done a great job of already being recognized. We also have national recognition and certification for our stroke program. So patients that have had a stroke, we work with them, with their families. We do a lot of education, a lot of prevention, because unfortunately, stroke patients do have a higher risk for recurrent stroke. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the best opportunity to stay healthy. And lastly, I just share that we have been above our growth plan ever since we opened. So the community has done a great job of supporting us with their healthcare needs, and we thank the community for that.
So now that we know a little bit more about each of your organizations, can you guys expand on the expansions that you have had over the past few years? How did they get started? Where are you at now?
We had first, we initially came to Indiana into Greencastle up in Putnam County, and we quickly built up that plan over a period of 5 years. And we were looking for a future place to expand. One of the criteria was to be within 50 miles of an existing facility in order for it to be supported during a startup. Early in my career, we picked a place that was 750 miles away, and it was quite hard to support during a startup. So in my search, I was rerouted on my way home. You know, I moved here in 2014 and passed by the Otis building. And that's usually one of our criteria, is to pick an existing building that we can rehab, has to be 250,000 square feet or larger, and have rail siding, because most of our raw materials, the bulk of them, are brought in on rail. So that facility fit the bill. Unfortunately, we were the backup bidders, because Saran was the primary bidder, but we immediately reached out to the BEDC, and unfortunately that fell through, but a few years later, they came back to us and said, hey, that building's gonna come back on the market. And we were the primary bidders, and you know, the rest of the story was, you know, we were holding on to that for future growth. COVID hit, and it became rapid future growth. So, you know, with the aid of some, you know, great contractors, the BEDC, the local government, and we were able to expand and add, you know, 12 presses rather quickly within 3 years. And also looking at, you know, we're contemplating another expansion to take us to the 26 presses. So it's a good story. It's been a good partnership.
So for Centra, we were able to take advantage of the location on site. So we had a green space there on our facility, on our property, that we were able to add this $250 million, 150,000 square foot facility to add syringe line, 2 syringe lines and a vial line. With that expansion, we should be completed with the expansion in late 26, be commercial in the year 27, and we should be able to add approximately 130 people, highly skilled employees, with around $72,000 annual salary. So with the help of the BEDC, they were able to support us on the big announcement with local government approvals, applying for incentives, and the READY funds, as well as helping us with government outcomes visit and local officials. And all of this wouldn't have been possible if we hadn't been purchased by 2 private equity firms.
Part of our plan with Ernest is to grow by 2 to 3 hospitals every year. And so obviously we were looking to expand, and Ernest already had hospitals here in Lafayette and Mishawaka that were very successful. So we knew Indiana was a great place to come to build our 3rd hospital. And with that, then we built a building that's about 47,000 square feet over on the west side of town, 40-bed capacity, and we've expanded kind of in probably trying to grow about every 4 to 6 months, and we're at our final expansion, and several days in February I've already had 40 patients, so the inn is full, which is good that we're able to provide care to those patients that need us. Initially, it was about an $18 million investment in the building itself, and about another $2 million in specialized equipment. So a total of about a $20 million investment. We started with 75 staff members initially, and as we've grown through our phases now, that we have about 175 at full operations, and the majority of those positions are full-time positions.
So why Monroe County? What were the factors that allowed each of your organizations to locate here in Monroe County?
Well, first and foremost, the availability of a building and the proximity. It's a great place to, you know, when I moved down here, I found that it was a great place to live and work. So that was a great point, and a large enough population to support employment. Greencastle was a smaller population, and at this day and time, they have a greater difficulty getting employees, you know, in a smaller area, in a smaller county. I believe that the incentives and the building price and the BEDC were key factors in our decision. And during construction, we had some great contractors, so it really was a win-win for us.
And ours was easy. We were already here. So we already had the green space. We were able to build right here on site. We have a great relationship with IU, Ivy Tech, and helping us find the right talent for for our growth. And then also, there's many of you out here, you know, Cassidy, Duke, FA Wilhelm, HFI, Ivy Tech, Singota, and of course the BEDC. And those are all reasons why this was the best.
You know, and for our hospital, it was really to do with the community need and the marketplace was the biggest factor that we had, because previously patients had to drive either Indianapolis or Louisville to get our level of care. And one of the things we like to have in rehab is we want the involvement of that family in the patient as they're recovering, and that's obviously hard to do if you have to drive an hour every day or 2 hours to get there. So that was the first factor. Also, as some of the other panelists have said, you know, land available. We like to build a one-story structure because it's much easier for hospital operations that way. So there was plenty of land available for the needs that we had. And then I think it's also, I want to point out that we had great partners in the community. IU Health was looking to collaborate with someone on rehab care because they were looking at completing their new hospital, weren't sure they were going to have the space or the expertise to continue that. So we planned in partnership with them and working with them so that as they were phasing out the rehab unit, small rehab unit in their hospital, we were opening our hospital so that nobody had to leave the area during that time when we were working. Also, BEDC was just great to lead us through that whole process of what grants were available, what type of tax help was available, and all of the forms, everything that goes along with that, and just a great guidance for us. And then also we had great partners with the county council and folks with zoning and all of that needed to take place where we were out on the west side of town. I think also had, both IU, Ivy Tech, we found that there were lots of opportunities for clinical staffing and training because they have nursing programs, they have therapy programs, all of which we need for our operation, and it's nice to have that pretty much locally. And then we found a good workforce, so for our non-clinical workers, such as environmental services, food service, our administrative and clerical teams, we've been able to hire as we've expanded and fill those positions as well.
I think you all mentioned getting support from the BEDC and the local government when TASIS a few years ago expanded at our Curry Pike facility. It was so helpful to have their support when we were working through our abatements. So definitely important organizations. Can each of you share a story of your organization's impact either on a client, patient, or the community?
I would say one of our largest impacts was the ability to supply during COVID. This was a huge pinch for a lot of our customers being able to supply things such as simple things like bleach or hand cleaner or anything. So we had the capacity to immediately expand and meet the pipeline demand that others fell short on. So that is a positive, and it helped us gain customers going forward because we were able to step up to the plate for that. What was the second part?
Impact on clients, patients, or community.
And yeah, I mean, as far as the community, we were able to. I think we're up to 80 people now as far as hiring. So it's been a real good journey.
By far my favorite question has to be. Centra is a highly complex manufacturing site with great respect from regulatory agencies all over the world. And what I can say probably most likely in this room, we've touched someone or someone part of your family. We're involved in 60 million doses of the COVID vaccine. We've been involved in the Ebola vaccine, smallpox. We currently produce 2 different flu vaccinations throughout the year. So just pretty cool to be able to do that. But also, we also involve ourselves, not just in the pharmaceutical world, but here in the community with Wonder Lab, Community Kitchen, Food Bank, New Hope for Families, and many, many more. So, love the question.
Right, and for the hospital, the biggest impact, I think, is if you look at patients. So obviously, as we talked about earlier, the patient can now stay in the area for the treatment that they need, and that could be anywhere from 10 to 24, 25 days. So it is important that that patient be able to be, or family be able to involve with that. And we've got great outcomes, so we're getting people back in the community from a health standpoint. I think that's important. Last year, we served 865 inpatients in our building, and then we had about 3,000 outpatient visits. So again, providing that care to folks here locally. If you look at the impact on the economy, as I said, we've grown to 175 employees, the majority of those full-time positions with benefits. We have about $10 million annually in wages that go back out into the communities, with the vast majority of our employees living either in Monroe or one of the surrounding counties, so it stays local. Our average wage is about $38 an hour, so as Jen mentioned, that's higher than the state and also higher than the area, so we're pleased to have that kind of technical positions and needed. And we spend over $250,000 annually just with local businesses as well with that, so you have that impact in the community. You know, I think the other thing that I'm proud of is what we do as far as our community education. So we do have a stroke support group, we have a Parkinson's support group. So folks that have had that touch their lives in some way, whether you're a patient or a caregiver, those are monthly meetings where you can get ongoing support and resources as you are helping your patient or helping your spouse maybe deal with those life-complicating illnesses. And then we also do a walking school, so for patients that have had an amputation, maybe you're having some difficulty getting back to walking, we do that where there's specialized training. And I think the other cool part about that is it's also a place where area therapists can come and learn more about prosthetics and treating patients with that. So it's not only reaching out to the patients in the community, but it's reaching out to those clinical folks in the community as well.
Thank you. So my last question is, what's next? And how can other organizations in the community help?
Well, what's next for Phoenix is we're contemplating an expansion, either within the facility, and that really depends on where the business comes from, or an acquisition. But we're going strong. We're reaching our capacity, so we're starting to plan for future expansion. We will look to the BDC and the local government as well for incentives or abatements. We will also engage the community for manufacturing awareness. We've hosted some small talks, some groups to bring younger and younger people in, to have them become aware of manufacturing and to incentivize that. And also, we have also reached out to Ivy Tech for apprenticeship programs. We have kind of a skills gap going, like anybody else has in manufacturing. So we're reaching out and starting to get some training programs. We're trying to place people in those to close the gap. And it's a tough thing, but the community can help us that way. And also moving ahead with housing. Many of our employees work outside the county. As we grow and expand, we would like to have some more people from within Monroe County.
So for Semtra is to complete our first one is to complete the install of our new clinical lines, complete the new build, adding the 2 syringe lines, the vial line, getting those up and running, and working with Ivy Tech on a highly skilled training program. And then also, I would like to say, to work with each and every one of you to bring more people into this beautiful town. We're all fighting for the same people, the same skill sets. And I think we all need to work together to be able to bring more people in.
So as far as what's next for us at Bloomington Regional, we're looking at expanding some of our specialized programs, such as we mentioned Parkinson's, maybe where we have, similar to what we've done with stroke, to be recognized for clinical excellence in that area. Because there is a fairly significant Parkinson's population in this area. And so we want to make sure that we're providing the services that are needed. As far as what the community can do to assist us, obviously continue to support us when we can provide your rehab service that you need here in town versus having to go somewhere else. That's the first major point. And then I think secondly, as we've talked about workforce development, is we continue to work with both IU and with Ivy Tech, sponsoring their clinical students are coming to our site for training as well. And just really work to that to make sure that we as well have that specialized trained staff that we're going to need as we move forward.
So all three of you guys mentioned something related to the workforce, and Jeff, you said the skills gap, which is something I think we all are feeling in manufacturing. I think that the state of Indiana has finally got some momentum on a new diploma that will allow for apprenticeship to be a part of how kids in high school learn. And I'm really looking forward to how that evolves. I know locally, we're already seeing the Monroe County Schools, ROI, the Chamber Success School, collaborating to get employers engaged like us in being a part of what needs to be trained to these kids today. So looking forward to how that grows and helps improve the skills of the kids that we need in these positions. Okay, I think we have a little bit of time for some questions from the audience. So if anybody has Clark's in the back with a mic, and we've got one over on the other end.
I am able to speak loudly, if that's okay. I was wondering, related to the diploma changes, internally, it's a lot of infrastructure to spin up to be able to successfully support a sustainable program like that. So who's working on that inside of your companies, and how long do you think it'll take to spin up to do those sorts of things?
Well, I'll talk a little bit. I'm on the Advanced Manufacturing Committee with the CNET's iLab, and they are working to get industry organizations to kind of be a conduit for what the criteria needs to be for the apprenticeship programs. To be determined whether we'll be, how long it'll take us to get to where we maybe have centers that are the apprenticeship, the on-the-job type training is happening at. I went to Switzerland last June to get to see how they are doing the apprenticeship program. It was really impressive. They actually have a manufacturing center that would feed all of us people who have the skills that we need. So we've got a ways to go. But Switzerland's been doing it for like 100 years or something. So they're quite a bit ahead of us.
If I can add to it, one of the things that we're doing is we're working with the high school programs, even just to have students come in and shadow. Because so many times the students don't even know what types of opportunities are available. And they may be juniors or seniors and they're trying to decide, what do I want to do? And where's my passion? And I think that has been helpful for us. And we do employ students as part-time or PR, what we call PRN, as needed workers, if they're in a program. Like we have nursing students who may work weekends for us, and we also have some therapy students that may work some weekends for us. So that's a way of us reaching out and just letting students know what's out there and what the possibilities are.
Hi, thanks for your time today. So thinking about an overall goal for our local economy, we need to attract people aged 25 to 54. BBC and Jen have talked about this in different settings. So I'm curious, from your perspective as employers, what
I've heard lower housing pricing, right? Not only houses, but can I afford to live in them?
I mean, I think a lot of things are already there. It's a very bikeable, walkable city. It has an array of restaurants, good schools, you know, for school-age children. I've enjoyed living here. I must say it's probably, you know, I've lived a lot of places, and this is one of my favorite ones. It's not too big and it's not too small. Of course, I moved here in 2014 when it was highly affordable, you know, so I would say the support is there and within the community and what you're able to do. So I think just the housing problem is probably rears its head, you know.
And I can probably say this on behalf also of Ivy Tech, but at Indiana University, if you had the opportunity to be sitting right here and say, if you could do two things that would make our lives so much easier as companies trying to grow in this community to the university and to Ivy Tech, what would that be?
I would say, as far as, you know, we entertain a lot of interns, and they're usually from engineering functioning schools, such as, you know, we've gone to University of Illinois, we've gone to Indiana State, that have, you know, in manufacturing intense degrees there. So that's one thing. You know, as we move forward and get more automated, we engage more and more of the IT, AI type of stuff, you know, which you know, IU has a bit of that. But that's mainly what we're looking for is, you know, more of the engineering degrees, engineering schools.
It is a shortage.
It is.
From an engineering.
And I think from the healthcare perspective, we'd like to see a little larger programs, you know, like being able to have more nursing students, more of the respiratory therapy students, because there is still a need in the community, you know, for all healthcare of those clinical students. But I know sometimes it's limited by, you know, the educational opportunities or having just qualified instructors and finding those. So we're trying to help expand, you know, those types of opportunities wherever we can.
Hello, I'm representing Senator Banks' office, and he's on committees that cover both labor and housing, and I was interested to hear if there's any specific federal action, or rather inaction, that you'd like to see, whether to pursue your goals, whether it be in workforce development or otherwise.
Workforce development, workforce development, workforce development. Truly, that's the biggest help we could have.
I have a question. I don't really want to stand if you don't mind, but I was just wondering, this is more for the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. Do you have liaisons that work with IU and the different departments to let them know about the opportunities for business here in Bloomington? Because I want to tell you, when I graduated IU many years ago, I went through Kelly and there was not one Bloomington business that was at Kelly talking to the different degrees about the opportunities to stay within Bloomington. So I went to Chicago, I went to Denver. I did end up back here, and I'm really happy to end up back here, but I will say there's so many people I know that would love to live in Bloomington, but they're not aware of the opportunities for employment.
Brandon, oh, thank you. That question was not a plant. Thank you so much. I don't know, would the IU tables like to wave their hands? So there's 2 whole tables from IU here. We work very consistently with IU. George Telthors, who was here, he had to step out. We literally just did, with 4 of our local life sciences companies 3 weeks ago, we did a reception for over 90 IU students. We've been doing regular tours of our facilities. We've done a couple here with Phoenix and others to get IU and Ivy Tech students out there. But I think this is a common thread that we're hearing is people don't even know People don't even know what's here and what's available to them, which is really why we wanted to start this conversation today and figure out other ways to get the word out. We've also been working really closely with like IU faculty and staff, because those are the constants. They are the ones that, if they could say, here's what I need in my curriculum, or here's how we can get my students in to be interns with you. And we've already seen some good things come out of those things, but I think there's always so much more we can do as well. So thank you.
Any more questions?
Thank you guys again for sharing all this today.
All right, once again for the panel as they sit down. And thank all of you for joining us today and for your support of the BDC. One more special thank you to our annual sponsors, our table sponsors. All these investments help drive economic growth in Monroe County. A couple looking ahead items. Our membership committee will be meeting on March 11th. We're always looking for people to come with new ideas and help us grow. Contact Stacy about that. Our next board meeting is scheduled for March 26th at 8 a.m. Doors open at 7:45 with breakfast and networking. If you aren't a board member but would like to learn more, go ahead and get a hold of the BDC team and Stacy. And then one last, mark your calendar for an always anticipated event. It's the State of the Bloomington Regional Economy. We have all sorts of opportunities from seats, tables, sponsorships, everything's available. Would love to see you guys all back at one of our next events. So with that, and in closing, I think you heard some themes from the panel, right? It's what we're working with and where we're going. A few of those themes were, it took land, and it took space, and it took facilities. We have some of those that are available, but we don't always know what's out there. I know we're working with partners, but no site is perfect. They all have hurdles. They all have something to get through. The second thing you heard is that we had great local partners and people to help us get through that, and that's part of what the BDC is able to bring to you and help you get obstacles, but it takes all of us. It takes everyone in this room working together in collaboration, and sometimes it takes new ideas. Sometimes it takes music, I don't know. I don't have anything good for that. I don't have a good dance, sorry. If you came for that, you came to the wrong show. But it takes all of us working in collaboration and working together, but there are opportunities out there for us. And with innovative ideas and creative ways, we have solutions to all these problems. We have a lot of things going in Monroe County that other spaces around us and the other options that companies have don't also have. So we're a great place to be, and we're excited to continue working towards bringing more people to prosper with us. So with that, thank you all again. Happy 40th anniversary, BDC, and go have a great day.